Namaste to each one of you. My thanks to the organizers of Adventures in Archaeology for inviting me for this lecture and to share my thoughts on the significance of the single-horned bull in the Harappan seals. I'll not be appearing on the screen. Kindly follow my presentation. Today's topic is titled Demystifying the Single-Horned Bull in the Harappan Seals. Harappan seals, though very small, is with an extensive subject. The seals, on an average, weigh 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters and weighing around 10 grams or slightly more. Thousands of Harappan seals have been discovered so far, and majority of the seals are with a picture of a single-horned bull. Each single-horned bull involves 3 units that appear to be interlinked. If there is a bull picture, the structure in front, and the symbols inscribed. 3/4 of the area of the seal is occupied with a picture of a bull with a structure in front and some symbols ranging between 2 to 9 are inscribed in the top 1/4 part. This indicates that bull is the linchpin, the significance of which needs to be understood first before interpreting the symbols inscribed. In the past, the approach has been to decipher the symbols in isolation and not in conjunction with the bull and the structure in front. For today's presentation, I have chosen seals only with the single-horned bull pictures. The significance of the single-horned bull and the structure in front of it are focused. The deities, the geographical distribution of the seals, the period of Indus Valley civilization, the figurines, the symbols inscribed are not in the focus in this talk. Coming to the topic on early observations. While attempting to understand the seals, in the picture one we can see, I was amazed to see the picture of the bird altar called Senachiti or Chayanyaga in 2 seals. They were inscribed as symbols. You can see the bird symbol, the top first inscription. The excavation at Purol in Uttarakashi also revealed a similar type of bird altar which belonged to 1st or 2nd century AD. I had also observed a similar big-scale bird altar that was constructed at a place called Panjal in Kerala state when a multiple-day Atiratra Yagna was conducted. There was a striking analogy between the symbols of bird altar in the seal and in the constructed ones. This leads to an examination of a possible linkage of the seals with Vedic yagnas, as it is only during the large-scale Vedic yagnas like Ashwamedha, Rajasuya, Mahavrata, Atiratra, and multiple-day Soma Yagna, the bird altar was called Senachiti was constructed. The research work was also initiated on the clue that the pictorial representation on the seals were probably linked with the rituals of Vedic Yagna, as the performance of Yagna was mandatory in ancient Vedic period. Coming to picture 2, the methodology which I used was slightly a different variety. I adopted a different method by studying the seals. The initial step was to understand what the seals communicate. For this, I lined up all the seal pictures according to the animal representations. They revealed very interesting facts. I lined up all single-horned bull seals, and all single-horned bull seals were associated with a manger-like structure in front. The single-horned bull's mouth was always on the square frame, and it was not depicted to be eating anything from the bin. I guess with this, it may not be related to the manger as it is set thus far. The square frame and the half moon shaped structure have varied designs on it. Then I lined up all the non-humped but double-horned bulls, and they have a trough in front, a bin-like thing in front. It can be seen in the second picture, and the bull, the head is bent, looking into the trough, placed at the ground level. Then the third picture was the long humped bull, the zebu bull. They did not have any trough or manger-like structure in front. They had only inscriptions. Then the elephant seals and the seals with human figure or deities, they also didn't have any manger-like structure, but they had only symbols inscribed. Through a constant interlinked references between multiple books on Rig Veda, Yajurveda on one side and the seal pictures on the other side, it brought to light the symbols and the figures on the seals were related to the stanzas of Rig Veda. Now coming to the single-horned bull, I have taken a Vedic approach to for the interpretation of this. The non-existence of single-horned bull in any geographical area, it was a mystery, though the figure of bull morphologically was indicated by its tail, the hoof, the male organ, clearly indicated it to be a bull, but it is commonly referred to as a unicorn for reasons not known. None of the seals showed the representation of a cow. The bull is called Rishabha in Sanskrit. I try to know the other meanings of Rishabha. It relates to many meanings like strong, vigorous, manly, mighty, the most excellent, eminent, best one, and so on. The research work started with locating the mention of the bull in ancient literary text. The search paved the way to Rig Veda. Rig Veda has infinite references to Rishabha, the bull, comparing it to the priest who conducts the yajna. Many stanzas have authenticated address, bull, you are the priest. Carrying forward the concept of Rig Veda and visualizing the bull to be the priest led me to understand and deduce that the figure of a single-horned bull, a male form, is to be the Purohita as described in Rig Veda. The word Purohita is mentioned in the opening hymn of Rig Veda. Agni is referred as Purohita, the celestial priest who was conceived as a bridge between humans and deities. Rig Veda starts with the praise of Agni with the words in the first mandala, first stanza, Agni mile Purohitam, Yajnasya Devaritvijam, Hotaram Ratnadhatamam. It means the meaning is, I praise Agni, who is the Purohita, the well-wisher of the community. Agni is the celestial priest, Ritvija, and Hotaram, the invoking priest too, who summons and invokes the gods to enjoy the offerings. As he was a mediator between earth and heaven. Agni was personified in, Agni, though element, was in personified form. However, the leader Agni had to be invoked and kindled afresh before every yajna. The priests in Rig Veda are in two forms, that is Deva Purohita, the celestial priest, and the Dvija Purohita, the human priest. The human priest, Hotri, along with the recitation of Vedic stanzas that were mandatory, ignited Agni, the celestial priest, who carried all oblations offered to the deities. Both human and celestial priests are addressed as Rishabha in Rig Veda. Bull is used metaphorically to symbolize the priest Purohita, the most important person, the well-wisher of the society in Vedic period and according to Rig Veda. This Rigvedic address of bull, you are the priest, was the clue for my work. The status of the chief human priest who invoked Agni, that was the Hotri priest. He belongs to the Rigvedic group. The Hotri priest was all powerful, like the bull in the herd, and he invoked and installed the deity Agni during yagnas. Hotri priest is depicted as a sacred and powerful animal, the bull as addressed in Vedas. Rigveda Mandala 3, 27.10 to 15 has many stanzas comparing Agni and the invoker Agni, the human priest, to bulls. The stanza goes like this: Vrushanam tva vayam vrushan, vrushanah samidimahi, dhidyatam bruhat. It means, Agni, the bull. Agni, you are the bull. We who are the bulls ourselves, we kindle Agni as a bull. O bull, shine mightily. Rigveda also quotes Tvam Agne Rishabha Pushtivardhanam Udhyata Sruche. That means thou Agni, or a bull that makes our stores increase, and to be invoked by the Hotri priest. Hotri priest knows what to offer. He lifts the ladle up and gives the formula of mantra while making offering. Many stanzas of Rigveda also mention about the Deva Ritvija, and the Dvija, the celestial and the human priest who invoke the gods to be present in Yagna. May the two priests, divine and the sage, the sweet voiced lovers of hymns, complete the sacrifice of ours, effectually reaching heaven. There are many such quotes that support the logic in calling Agni and the igniter of Agni as bulls, the priests, and hence this has been symbolically carved in seals. Single-horned bull is more a metaphor or symbolism rather than a direct depiction of the domestic animal in art form. Now, coming to the embellishments of the bull picture, picture 3. In this part, I focus on the embellishments of the priest. Now we know bull is the priest. What are the embellishments of the priest are depicted in this single-horned bull picture? The three embellishments are Yagnopavita, the Kundayani, and the ladle in the tail part. The single-horned bull has all the accessories that a chief priest is adorned with, like Upavita, Kundayani, the ladles are Havani, that the priest always holds. These are depicted as the embellishments of the bull. In all single-horned bull seals, the torso is adorned with lines that look like a decoration below the neck part and extend up to the bottom of the torso. This thread-like lines can be compared to Yagnapavita of the priest. Since the single-horned bull is a symbolic representation of Hotri priest, and this mark symbolizes the Yagnopavita worn by the priest. Some seals show one line, some two lines. They are the specification of the Upavita, and some show 3 strands. In the first picture, we can see 3 strands, and in the middle one has 2 strands, and the third picture has only one line. So the bachelor priest wore single strand Upavita, the married man wore 2 strand, and the man with children wore 3 strand Yagnopavita. All 3 varieties are indicated in the seals. Now coming to Kundayani, the fourth picture. Kundayani is seen in the forehead region. The reason is that at the initial step, when the Dikshita priest, as he enters the Yagnashala, he takes the lump of the earth from the Vedic Shala and touches his forehead. After this, it is tied to the Kundayani. Horn is tied to the upper garment of the priest. Kundayani is the identification mark used by one who has taken initiation, called Diksha. Kundayani is also called Vishana. Only a single-horned bull is decorated with Kundayani. Kanduyani is the horn of a black deer with multiple folds and used by the initiated priest as a tool to scratch his body when required. This is because scratching with fingers or nails was not permitted after Diksha or initiation during Yagna. Kandu in Sanskrit means itching sensation. So, Kanduyani is the forehead horn. Now, looking into the picture 5, the tail, this gives a description of the tail of the animals and the indication of ladles. Actually, the symbols what we see in the lower part, the small ones, they are inscribed as symbols. It is the patra, the vessel in which the ladle is kept. These ladles are depicted in the tail part, end part of the tail in single horn bull. The priest offers liquid oblation in yagna. The oblations are offered in a large spoon with handle. And this is called a ladle. It has a cup-shaped ball in front. This is depicted in the tail part of the single horn bull and other animals. The long handle will be usually 1 arm length and is compared with the length of the tail of the bull. Yajurveda in 1.1.1 says about the name of the spoons. These are called Juhu, Upabrita, Dhruva, etc. And so many ladles are there. The capacity, shape, material, and size of each one is varied. It was according to the havis or the liquid oblation that was offered, like ajya, the charu. Charu means the porridge-like preparation, and then payasa is the kheer, milk, dadi. Each one had a different shaped ladle. Different categories of priests used different types of ladles according to their rankings. Many symbols inscribed in the seals have the depiction of ladles in patra. The containers are also in different shape. In the picture 6, we can see the ladles lined up. This is the first one is a sruk, sruva, and the square ones are chamasa, it is called, and the vasodhara. The small ones, it is pinvana. All these accessories are used in a yagna. These are depicted in the inscription part of the seals. Coming to picture 7, the picture 7 depicts the sruk. Sruk is a type of ladle with a long handle and a short beak as the pouring point. These are in different shapes, different identification names and purpose also. Sruk is 1 arm length, artistically well fashioned, and the ball part of it may be in different shapes like an arrow shaped. The leaf shaped is called Paradamai. The crow feather shaped one is called Vaisapucha. The swan's beak is called Hamsamukha Prasechana. These are the varieties of sruk that are used in a yagna. These are depicted in the tail part of the bull. This part is really interesting. Now, if we look into the picture 7.1, this is the ordinary sruk, which even now it is used in yagnas. It's a long handle made of wood and a beak or a pouring point in front. Now, picture 7.2 shows the sruk, which is in the first picture. Exactly, it is in the tail part. The next picture is the seal from which the picture has been zoomed up. The tail part has been zoomed up. All tail of a single horn bull have very intricate designs of the ladles. Now coming to 7.3, that's the third picture. The sruk is arrow shaped. 7.4 is Parnamai sruk. Parnamai sruk has leaf shaped ladle. You can see the long handle and the Parnamais rook at the bottom. Then coming to the bottom row, 7.5, it is Hamsamukha Prasechana. The pouring point in this ladle is shaped like a swan's beak. 7.6 is Vaisapucha, the middle figure. It is Vaisapucha. Vaisapucha is the crow's feather. The ladle itself is shaped like a crow's feather, and it is used to offer different types of oblations during yagna. Then the last picture is called Tvogbila. Tvogbila's rook is with a bigger ball the size of a palm. This is made of wood and used to offer large quantity of liquid oblations. Now coming to picture 8. This is called Sruva. Sruva is a small dipping spoon. It is with a small round ball like the size of the tip of the thumb in front, and it's without a beak. This is used for ladling out clarified butter. Sruva is distinguished from the sruk in not having a beak. Sruva is usually 2 feet long. It's made of khadira or parna or audungara wood. We can see the tail part has a small ending. This represents Sruva. That means in the yagna, ajya is being offered. Then in the small middle picture, there is a patra, the vessel-like in which Sruva is kept. This part is inscribed in the inscription part of the seal. Even the last picture shows Sruva. They don't have a beak point. Coming to the next picture, this is Akarsha Palaka. Akarsha Palaka is a wooden spoon, maybe metallic also. It's shaped like a snake, used to offer in a sacrifice sesame or til seeds in Pitru-related rituals. The tip is broad like a snake's hood, and the spoon is used mostly in domestic rituals. This particular Akarsha Palaka is called Uddharani. It's like a snake's hood on top, and most of the houses observing Hindu rituals, they have this Uddharani at home. Now, the next picture is, it's called Upavesha or Drishti. This picture 10 is held by Advaryu. Advaryu means the Yajurvedic priest who does mostly the manual job in the yagna. The Hotri recites the stanzas. He is the Rigvedic priest, and the Advaryu is the Yajurvedic priest who does the manual work. This drishti is used to remove burning embers. The ladle is also used to cut avadana portions of the purodasha cake. Purodasha is the mixed grain cake that is prepared in a yagna to be offered to deities. Drishti is a long ladle fork with 2 prongs. It will be having 2 projections as seen in all the 3 pictures. The interesting point here is I have located 3 seals. The bull seal also has drishti as a tail. Rhinoceros also has a drishti as a tail, and even the elephant has a tail. That means it clearly indicates the tail part is just a symbolic representation, and these animals are not the domestic animals or trained animals in art form. Now coming to picture 11, this particular ladle, what we see on rhinoceros, is called Mekshana. Mekshana is a mixing rod made of Ashwatha wood, that is Ficus religiosa. It is 24 angulas long at one end. It has a square board and extending into 4 or 5 fingers for stirring and mixing the flour in boiling water. It is used to prepare the purodasha dough. The water is called Madanti since it is boiling. This fork-like spoon was used to mix the dough and the boiling water. The interesting thing is, in the previous one, we saw rhinos with a drishti, and here rhinoceros is with a mekshana. Now coming to picture 12, it is this particular ladle is called the filter, called Valasruva. It is made of cow's hair for filtering sura. It is also called the Valasruva, the hair sieve for filtering sura in Sutramani Yagna also. The sieve to filter soma, after crushing soma, the soma juice is filtered. The sieve is made out of cow's tail hair. We can see two varieties of surva in the first picture and in the third picture. It's the seal from which the picture was borrowed. So this represents a Valasruva. This Valasruva is a beautiful picture, and the bull's tail will not be in this shape actually. So it's a symbolic representation. Then coming to Spaya, picture 13, this is a type of wooden sword-like tool. It is held by Advaryu, the Ayurvedic priest who does manual work. It is 2 feet in length and made of many types. Spaya is with side projection sometimes, and it is called Vajra Spaya. It is used to mark measurements in altars. It may be arrow-shaped or also sword-shaped, as seen in picture 4. The picture 4 is the actual Spaya which we get now, and the seal, the third picture shows, the bull picture shows the sword-shaped Spaya very clearly. This was all about the embellishments of the bull. Now, moving on to the structure. In front of the bull, there is a structure. It looks like a manger structure with 3 distinct divisions. Even most of the scholars have called it a manger structure. It has 3 distinct divisions. All single-horn bull seals have a structure with 3 units that look like a manger, which is actually not much decoding has been done so far on this. The intriguing half-moon shaped bin is positioned on a very slender pillar, which is highly improbable and impossible actually. Above this is the square frame and positioned right below the bull's mouth. In all the seals, all the 3 divisions are unique and and it clearly indicates it's not a functional manger. Except the base pillar, which doesn't show varied designs, the half moon container and the square frame show varied designs, varying from seal to seal. Hence, it is symbolic representation that led me to further investigation. There is no representation of grass or food for the animal here. The single-horn bull did not appear to be in the posture of or action of eating anything from the bin. The alternate function of the mouth is related to its skull. Since single-horn bull is deduced to be symbolizing a priest, the skull of bull has been correlated with the speech of the priest, which is called vak or vachana, because priests recited Vedic stanzas while performing the rituals. In Vedic period, seals were genius class of people. They have contemplated on the structure and recitation of Vedas starting from the very fundamental unit, the breath, to be the birth of voice. Breath then manifests as sound vibrations. Then it manifests as construction of words. This is followed by construction of lines and stanzas of hymns, further embellishing these lines and structuring into meters. Recitation and memorizing techniques of Vedic hymns. All these abstract thoughts and realities are translated into figurative forms in the structure with a specific and a scientific approach, very scientific approach. Hence, this structure is most meaningful, interesting one, and full of purpose. Rigvedic stanzas do mention about the origin of voice. That's why we see it in the seals. The very convincing stanza of Rigveda, Mandala 1, 164.45, is about the 4 stages of walk, the recitation. This is quoted as a riddle in Rigveda. Chatvari vak paramita, padani tani vidur brahmanaye manishina. This means, and further, gruhani trini nihita nengayanti turiyam vacho manishya vadanti. Gruhani tini nihita means the three are hidden. Turiyam, the word mentioned, the Rigveda mentions Turiyam, that is the 4th one. The 4th stage of speech is out. It totally means speech has been measured out in 4 divisions. The priests and the Brahmanas who have understanding of the Vedas and the knowledge of Gnana can know them. 3 stages are kept in close concealment because there is no sound of speech is heard. So men speak only the 4th division. This is very intelligently passed on as a riddle. 3 are concealed, 1 is out. That's why the bull's face is always on the frame. The 4 stages of speech are called Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikhari. The first 3, Para, Pashyanti, and Madhyama, are high frequency, they are hidden and non-audible sound. Only the 4th, Vaikhari, is of lower frequency and is audible. The 4 comprehensive structural divisions depicted as the pillar, the half-moon shaped, the square frame, and the mouth of the bull above correlates with the 4 stages of origin and evolution of breath into Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikhari stages. Mouth of the bull is the Vaikhari stage, reciting the Vedic hymns. The Vedic stanzas above mentioned relate to the structure in front of the bull. These 4 stages of sound can be compared to how a baby learns speech. The first cry at birth is that of Pranavayu. That is compared to the base pillar. It is universally a common feature. Then Pashyanti is the second stage of agitation, the cooing voice of an infant or trying to utter incoherent words. That is the second stage. Madhyama is the uttering of words and trying to join words to make sentences. The 4th is the action of talking that flows continuously through the mouth. Now, if we examine each unit, coming to the first picture 15, coming to the base structure, the pillar, the structure of pillar is symbolic representation of the fundamental firm support of voice energy, which is a universal phenomena. This comprises of breath, the pranavayu, which resides in everybody. It is called para. Para means distant, non-audible, the latent energy, and the pillar of support for voice creation. This concept of breath as the support of evolution of speech is very beautifully depicted in this Manger structure. The pillar, slender pillar, is without any surface design. It's awe-inspiring to notice this. Perhaps it's the most amazing structure ever created, dealing with the very abstract and universal phenomena of how voice or words are born and propagated. Coming to the after para, we move on to the second stage, the Pashyanti stage. Para manifests in the second stage as Pashyanti. This is depicted like a half-moon shaped ball. Half-moon shaped ball is called a mixing ball. It's called umbrena, as mentioned in Rigveda. The vessel or the tub is used for mixing 3 aspects: the breath, voice, and knowledge. These 3 are mixed to make words that are ingredients of speech. Vagambrina is the tub where the walk or words are structured, purified, and shaped or emerges as words. These are the words of mantra too. Words are present in a free-flowing state. Any two words can be joined to make a sentence. These were the first utterances giving names to objects by Brihaspati, the god of initial knowledge. That means the sages have contemplated they have wondered who gave the names of so many words. It was revealed by Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the god of light because when light is there, we identify objects around us, otherwise, we are in darkness. The stanza in Rigveda Mandala 10, chapter 71, 1 to 2, about Gnanam, quotes Brihaspate Prathamam Vacho Agram Yat Prerita Namadheya Dadanaha. It means Brihaspati gave the names of objects, sent out them as Vaks first and earliest utterances. Men treasured them with and used them. Here we see breath manifest as words. This part of the structure, it is called Vagamvrina. Vagamvrina relates to, in the Vedanga part, the Kramapata of Vedanga, for how two words are combined, grammatically structured, and how the recitation patterns are practiced. The 8 methods of gaining mastery over pronunciation is through these 8 methods which are mentioned in Vedanga. They are called Jata, Mala, Shikha, Rekha, Dhvajo, Dando, Ratho, Ghanapata. Each is practiced as like Shikha Pata is a different variety of combining words. Mala Pata is a different pattern of following 2 phrases or 2 sentences, which guides how the 2 words in a stanza are to be repeated and practiced in many methods to gain mastery and flawless recitation methods. These methods are mentioned in Vedangas. All methods of Kramapata are discussed. There are more than 8. All are 8 Kramapata is discussed in my book, Symbolography in Indus Seals. In this picture 16, we see 3 Vagamrina. The first is called Rathapata. Rathapata means it is wheel-shaped. There is one Shikapata which is also circular, but Shikapata looks slightly different from the Rathapata. Then the second one is Dhvajapata. Dhvajapata is like a flag. It goes in that order. The word phrasing, the word runs in a Dhvaja, the flag shaped. Then the third one is Rekhapata. Rekhapata is learning recitation in continuous lines. So these are about Vagamrina. Now we move on to the next part. That is the third stage is Madhyama. This is the Chanda square. After knowing the words and after constructing sentences, how they are structured in a meter, because Vedic poetry is all Vedic poetry is in a meter. In Sanskrit, prosody is chandas, the meter, and it is the science of poetic meter. Chandas is depicted in a square frame in the structure, and the graphical picture, Padapata of stanza, is indicated. Coming to picture 17a, the square frame shows the frame of structure, chandas frame. It is square shaped. Each square frame has smaller square units in varying numbers. These are discussed here with a logical approach. All hymns of Veda were composed observing chandas, the meter. It's the fundamental character of Vedic poetry actually. Chandas, the metrical science, prosody is studied as the regulation of number of words structured in a stanza. In the seals, the meter structure is indicated with a scientific approach in a graphical picture. The frame shows the usage of padas. Padas is words. Pada. Pada means lines. Then four padas, 4 lines make a stanza. All these are indicated through square frame that are discussed here. They also hint on the linguistic skills that was essential for the pronunciation of Vedic mantras. The meter of a stanza is understood by Padapata divisions. So if we try to understand how Pada is represented in the frame, Pada is the individual word. In picture 17a, we can see the Pada marked. It's in a red square. Each square represents a word. A word is made of one or more vowels and consonants. So the next one is Pada. Pada is foot or step, a line as the metrical unit. It is graphically indicated in the picture by a sequence of small squares of words and in a line. Its Pada is a line and it also is known as Vakya or a quarter. Then when there are 4 Padas, it is called a Padya or a Vritta. A verse, a stanza is usually 4 lines. Altogether it is called Vritta and several Vrittas make a Vedic poetry. A line is a part of a stanza, the lines of which may also vary from 3 to 7 or even more. In this picture 17b, we can see various different number of squares. It may be long, it may be bigger square, it may be small square. There are so many variations in this frame structure. The structure of the major 7 Sanskrit meters show variation in the number of syllables in a stanza, with squares ranging between 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44 and 48, sequenced with a difference of 4 syllables. These are all represented like square blocks in a bigger square frame. Specific meters are used to different deities and hence they are differently named. The upcoming priest, just by looking into the frame in the seal, decides which part of Rigveda mandala is to be chosen, because Rigveda had 10,600 stanzas and the priests were not allowed to make a bad choice or mischoice of the stanzas to be recited. It had to be very meticulous in a yagna. The deity to be invoked. The deity was recognized by the meter that was used. This, further other details like specific oblations required and such other details related to yagna were inscribed as symbols in the top 1/4 part. The 7 major meters were Gayatri, Ushnika, Anushtup, Brihati, Pankti, Trishtup, Jagati. Viraj and Shakwari were also other 2 meters which are used in Vedas. Rigveda indicates the usage of particular meter for a particular deity. One of the stanzas in Rigveda Mandala 10, 130.3 to 7 says which deity was associated with which meter. Agner Gayatriya Bhavet, Sayuk Ushnikah Savita Sambhabuva, Anushtup Soma Uktar, Mahaswan Brihaspater Brihati Vachamam. It means closely Gayatri meter conjoined with Agni, Savitur combined with Ushnika, Soma joined Anushtup. Brihaspati's voice was aided by Brihati meter. Trishtup meter was Indra's portion. Viraj adhered to Varuna and Mitra deities. Jagati entered all gods, the Vishwadevas together. So by this knowledge of Yagna and the Vedas, men were raised to the status of rishis. Then now, how to identify these meters in a sale? Coming to picture 18a, this is the Gayatri meter. Gayatri meter has 24 padas. That means the frame shows 24 small square units. It can be in 3 lines of three 3 lines of 8 words in each, 3 into 8, or it could be 6 into 4 also. In the top frame, the second picture exactly shows 24 syllables, 3 lines of 8 syllables. There are many varieties in Gayatri meter too. Then picture 18b is Ushnika. It has 28 words in 4 lines of 7 squares. It is 4 into 7. You can make out there are 7 and there are 4 lines, 7 into 4. So this is Ushnika. Picture 18c is Anushtup. Anushtup is with 32 words. There are again 4 lines in the frame and each line has 8 words. So it is 4 into 8. Then coming to picture 19, coming to picture 19a, this type of structure is called Brihati meter. Brihati is with 36 syllables in a stanza. It is depicted both as 4 into 9, that means 9 words and 4 lines, or it could be 12 into 3. That means 12 words in 3 lines. In the first picture, 19a, we see 4 lines with 9, and in the 19b, we see it is 3 line and it has 3 into 12 words, 12 padas are there. Then the picture 19c has a different type of Brihati meter. Brihati means the part of body between breast and backbone. It is the reservoir of prana, and that's why it was called Brihati. Brihati is also the big brinjal shaped. It's also called Brihat. The picture 19c is called Uro Brihati. Uro Brihati corresponds to the lung region, with the ribs is depiction of ribs as the chest cavity in the seal. 13c is a very interesting picture of Uro Brihati with 36 syllables. Though all frames of the seals look alike on a casual look, we still have 20, sorry. Picture 20a is, this is called Pankti meter. Pankti is with 40 syllables. It is 4 lines of 10. It is 4 into 10. We can count 10 blocks and 4 lines very clearly. This is Pankti meter. And picture 20b is Jagati meter. Jagati meter is with 48 syllables, 48 padas, that means 48 small square units. It is made up of 6 lines of 8 squares in each line. 6 into 8 is, it is Jagati. 6 into 8 is Jagati. These frames look alike for a casual look. Number of syllables, the words are squares, padas, the number of lines, vakyas, and the number of stanzas in Vedic poetry varies according to the meter in which it is composed and the deity to be invoked. This is about the amazing square frame that is depicted in single horn bull seals. Coming to the next picture, picture 21, this depicts the 4th part of walk, that is Para, Pashanti Madhyama and Vaikhari. This is the Vaikhari part. Vaikhari correlates with speech articulation, the Kriya Shakti. In picture 21, we see 3, the head of the bull is placed in 3 different positions. It's indicative of the tonal pitch in which the recitation should go. Different priests have different types of recitations. There are altogether 16 priests present in a yagna, and each one has a different role to play, different type of a recitation. It's interesting to observe these, the main classifications of swaras, the shruti and pitch. The three major pitch is called Udatta, Anudatta and Swarita. The fourth part is associated with the mouth of the bull always. Turiya is always with the mouth of the bull. It has been analyzed for its position. Because of the way it position, we can easily make out what is being recited in a high tone or in a low tone or in medium tone. The head indicates the pitch or the recitation, and the variation is indicated in depiction of lines on the neck of the bull. Some have normal positioning, some have an upraised, and some in some seals the head is downward. Udatta is high, elevated or acute accent. It is the vocal rendering in a higher pitch. The summons that are recited in Soma rituals are mostly in a high pitch, and some stanzas of Hotri are in a high tone. The Udatta tone is, in the first picture we can see the bull is lifting its head. Many seals have this posture for the bull. Anudatta is called, it's a second picture, Anudatta is called Sannatara. It is a low tone, a grave accent, not elevated or in a raised tone. It is indicated by the bull's neck in a downward position. Some seals depict the face facing downward with a drooping ears. This is indicative of the pronunciation of mantra that are not audible. So the ears covering, the drooping ears indicate that some mantras are not to be heard by others. It's recited in a very low tone. So this is Anudatta recitation. And then the third one is in a medium position, neither high nor low. This is called Swarita. It is the articulated circumflex or the third tone, which is mixed between high and low. Swarita is the intermediate accent between Udatta and Anudatta. Most mantras of Rigveda at the beginning are sung in Swarita pitch, and it is indicated by the neck being placed in a horizontal position. Now, this is about the pitch. Now, coming about the types of recitation, the first picture is called Refa. Refa means the low tone, contemptible, a grunt or a burr or a grating sound. Refa has a low tone, rather concealed, covered, and is a secretive tone with a harsh sound like etching something. It is also called Dvana tone, where the vowels and consonants can be distinguished, but the words cannot be distinguished in this type of pronunciation. In the first picture, the line on the bull's neck are not continuous, they are not complete. It is broken, and in the other indications we can see the lines complete, but in Dvana recitation we see it broken, it's not complete. Then coming to the B picture, Hrsva. Hrsva is a small or a short sound, a mantra, and it is heard in a low tone, indicated by one or two short lines on the bull's neck. In the 3B picture, we can see only 2 lines on the neck. That means the recitation, what the priest is giving, is a short recitation. Then the third one is called Prachaya. The C picture is Prachaya. Prachaya means a gathering or collecting in multitude, quantity of increasing in number. It can be seen as a gathering of mantras and is indicated by the continuous flow of the multiple folds in the bull's neck. It is also called Righavanam, where the mode of recitation with the stanzas woven together by reciting them one after another continuously without pausing for breath also. Many Shraddha rituals we can see this type of a recitation, it goes continuous without any break. Then the picture D, fourth one, is called Anunasika. Anunasika is a nasal tone, which is also observed in certain yagnik recitations. It is through the nose, a nasal twang, and some specific stanzas are recited in a nasal tone. It is indicated by a close and choking neck ornament like mark on the bull's neck. We can see something near, very close to the ear, like a choker it is. It represents Anunasika. Then the picture 23 shows wavy lines on the neck of the bull. This is called kampana. Kampana is a circumflex is an accent where the voice is rising and falling on a vowel or a syllable with gentle nod of the head. It is in a quivering pronunciation and is put into movement. It is a modification of Swarita accent in a musical tone. The recitation goes wavy and it sounds very pleasant and musical. Then the picture 3 of the Zebu bull, it's called Dirga Kampana. Dirga Kampana, it's a long and extended Kampana tone indicated in the long wavy patterns on the neck of the bull. Then the last picture, Plutta, is 3G is Plutta. Plutta is derived from the word pli, that means to swim or float. Plutta means swimming, floating, overflowed, jumped, and such type of meanings. Some parts of the recitation in the yagna are uttered in a floating tone, more like an extended vowel and lengthened in motion. It is indicated by the presence of a fish. In this we see three types of priests. The double horn bull has a lower recitation, then some part is in a floating tone represented by the fish, and the Swarita tone by the normal tone by a Hotri priest. The body of the fish indicates the structure of squares, and the mantra and its meter can be judged by this. So these are all about the types of recitation. The structure in front of the bull is full of scientific information. Now, this is how I conclude my observation and my writings. The analysis, the riddles associated with the single horn bull and the manger, like I don't like to call it manger, it's the structure of walk. So I call it the structure of walk in front of the bull, and the connectivity between the bull and the structure have been attempted with a holistic approach. With this introduction of new dimension of analysis to Harappan seals, the single horn bull proves to be a metaphoric concept of representing a Hotri priest. This dimension establishes the understanding and its coherence with the Vedic hymns. The codified instructions are represented symbolically in seals. The seals are very small and highly epitomized picture and representations on a 2-inch piece of stone. The reason probably maybe for easy handling, transporting, storing as a reference document for the upcoming priest. It was like paradigms planned to be planned to avoid the probable mistakes that may happen during the recitation of a ritual procedure. So the upcoming priest had to check with the seals before conducting the yagna. This was at a time when the oral tradition was at its peak and the instructions were codified in its expression. These structures clearly give us a knowledge of how Veda was taught to younger generation, how it was propagated, and how what measures were taken to retain the purity of Vedic recitation. My very sincere thanks to Adventures in Archaeology and Kanchan ji for organizing this lecture and inviting me to participate. I thank one and all of you for the participation. Namaste. Shilpa Wadekar says, the bull is considered as a rain which is coming from heaven. Yeah, I studied stanzas Tvamagne Rishabha, and then Bull, you are the priest, with the stanzas which I quoted. The bull as rain is compared to the black color of the bull is compared to the clouds which gives rain. But bull as such is the priest because of the social status in the herd. Sindhu culture. Indus Seal, the Indus civilization and the people of tribal culture in the present times worship such a shape. Yeah, many tribal people worship, even the non-tribal people, the very followers of Hinduism worship all these deities, and we worship bull also. Sindhu culture means Indus civilization was, Yagnik was the Sindhu culture was with deities. All deities are represented in seals, and the worship methods, the yagnic methods, the offerings to be given, all are indicated in Rigveda and Yajurveda. Then Gomati ji has asked, Brihaspati gave name to the things in the world. Then why Brihaspati is not known to be the whole world? Brihaspati is god of light. When light is switched on, or when there is a diya, we get to know the objects around us. Otherwise, we are in darkness, ignorance. It is the light that gives knowledge. So light is personified as God Brihaspati. What is the symbol of an elephant? No? Equivalent cross with the circles in the edge, each spoke. Oh, you mean the circle with 6 spokes? Oh, that is the that, as we see in the picture, the last picture, that is the fire altar, Garhapatya altar. Garhapatya altar is always depicted in the seal with 6 spokes. These 6 lines relate to the 6 seasons, and the 6 seasons revolve around the year. And it also means Garhapatya has to be with fire all through the year, all through 6 seasons. That is indicated with the wheels symbol with 6 lines. Can we conclude that Vedic period and Vedic period were one and the same? And yeah, Vedas were created, and Vedic period was full of Vedic rituals, and they followed Rigveda, the Rig and Yajurveda. They give the social and all cultural, social, all aspects of society are represented are detailed in Vedas. So Vedic period gives Vedic culture. What we see, that is depicted in seals. We can understand only a part of what is given in Vedas in the seals. Have any ladles been unearthed in archaeological expeditions? Yeah, I'm not sure of this, because all ladles are they were made of wood, different kinds of wood. After performing a yagna, the whole arena, yagnashala, was set to fire. All utensils used, all patras used were dropped into the fire. And every time it had to be restructured, redone. So it may be hard to find a ladle because it's wood and it is burnt. Has anyone decoded the pictorial script into mantras in these seals? Yeah, I'm not very sure. I have tried making the symbols. I have deciphered around 265 symbols. And with that, I made an attempt to relate to the Gayatri Mantra, which I have posted in academia. So I don't know whether others have tried or not. I have no idea. It should be done really. And to correlate the mantras, as you have said, pictorial script. Yeah, Madhu Aloka has said there was a misunderstanding to identify this one horn bull as unicorn. Yeah, unicorn is a horse. It's a mythological, a different thing. Unicorn is a horse with a horse tail. The single horn comes from the nose part. But this is clearly a bull. We can understand it by the hoof, the tail structure. The tail is never like a horse tail, and even the genital organ horse shows it at a different place, and this is clearly a bull. The Vedic period, as I mentioned in the very beginning, the Vedic period is out of scope of this article. This is only a correlation between single horn bull and the manger-like structure. Since seals are found in Harappan, Harappa Mohenjo-daro area, it should reflect Vedic period. If the other single horn bulls aren't unicorns, why they don't have a hump in their backs like the other bulls? Yeah, there are, as I said, single horn bull is a priest. Double horn bull without hump is also a type of priest. Then the Zebu bulls with a long, heavy hump is totally a different class of seals. It's a different, an article which I have discussed in my book. It relates to Vrushotsarga. So those, the long-horned bulls, they are not considered as priests. Only the long lines indicate the Kampana pattern of recitation that was given at the time of Vrushotsarga. The Vedic Harappan and the Vedic period were the same. Sorry, I don't discuss on period. As I said, it's a very different chapter. So kindly excuse me for this. Period is, I feel the Vedas were written before, and the seals are representation of Vedic. Since the Indus Valley civilization was in a very vast area, all the Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, everything was occupied by Vedic civilization. Okay, can we conclude now? Can we end? Okay, thanks everybody for the participation. Thank you. Namaste.